Hugh, is this kind of an unusual schedule to have your home, your last two home matches this early and have to be on the road for the last two weekends?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the way the schedule works out, they try to balance you out home and away. So, we're just last two weekends away. It's not the end of the world. I don't think it's that atypical.
What did you learn from your team after going 5 sets for the first time in a while?
Well, another testament to the strength of the league, I think. But most importantly, I thought our response in the fifth was strong. We were at our most disciplined, and I thought playing some of our best volleyball at the end there, which was really great to see. I think that's a credit to the team.
Well-balanced offensive attack again this weekend. Everybody, each hitter brings something specifically to the team. What does Alexis bring to the team?
A lot of heat. She hits it hard. She jumps high. She's developed some nice range. And I thought, certainly on Saturday, her blocking was particularly strong as well. So she's a handful over there.
She talked to me. She told me that she was really working on her defense coming into this season. Do you think that improvement? Do you see that improvement this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely been an increase in her defensive range, and I think she's improved a lot in that capacity. But clearly, her forte is at the net.
How has Taylor improved as a blocker?
I think she's better at reading. I think she sees things much more clearly than she did, or at least she's able to process what she's seeing and make better choices. But in addition, I feel like in terms of her footwork, she's able to go further and faster across the net. There was times where she wouldn't quite get all the way out there to the pin, but I feel now she's going far and she's going fast, and also just with her hands, she's getting over and square and putting a good surface in front of those hitters often.
Going back to one of our favorite themes of the season, CC and Adana and their development.
Yeah.
How much of an advantage, they both came in early, right? How much of an advantage is it to get freshmen in early and let them get that spring semester under them?
Well, I think it certainly doesn't hurt relative to their volleyball development, but we've never asked anyone to come early. We just think that the idea of, if they've had enough of high school, or if they've played 18s for 3 years or something, in their club and they want to be done and get going, that's fine. But if they want to go to prom, we'll support that, But we've had a few people do it, and it seems to have really helped them relative to their transition to the collegiate game. So I think it helps them lay a foundation in terms of the skills that kind of underpinning what we're trying to do, and the values and the behaviors that are required to operate at this level. And I think it gives them a chance to get a semester of school under their belt when being a student athlete is clearly a challenging thing. So I think there's lots of good. Yeah.
In your sport, what are the hardest adjustments that freshmen have to make, and why have those two been able to do it so quickly and so well?
Well, I think the hardest thing is just getting used to the speed of the game and the stage that you get to perform it on. I mean, it's one thing to play in a high school packed gym, or even a club championship for junior nationals or AAUs or whatever. But at the end of the day, when your life goes from that level to having to perform in front of 5,600 fans at the PAV and playing against some really good volleyball teams in the best conference in the country, there's a level of consistency that's required. There's, I think, a level of mental and emotional management that's required. There's a lot of things that have to go into it to being able to succeed. Now, to those two, they get credit. Both of them obviously are very accomplished volleyball players. They're really good. And so I think just the fact that they're physically and technically able to handle that load gives them the space to deal with the emotional, mental stresses and strains that go with being a student athlete at this level. So I know that's a long answer, but I think it needed some context. So there you go.
With Taylor, the daughter of a coach, are there certain things that you can tell that she has that relationship? And are there certain traits that you see from other daughters of coaches?
No, we just treat Taylor as Taylor. I think the fact that her dad happens to be a coach is neither here nor there. She's her own woman, so we treat her as such.
At some point, people are going to talk about running the table in the Big Ten. How do you fend that conversation off, or do you have that conversation up front?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's other people's stuff. It doesn't have to be our stuff. But I don't think they give you anything extra if you win 20 matches in the Big. I think the goal is try to win the conference. That's the thing that we're working on. And, so I don't think we get an extra. It comes in an extra special envelope or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything to it. So we're just going to try and play the best volleyball we can day in, day out. And if that leads to a conference title, then wonderful. That will be quite an achievement because it's, like we said, it's the toughest conference in the country right now. And if we don't, we don't. But we'll learn and move on. But we're not going to get too wrapped up in all that other stuff.
How much progress have you seen in CC and in Donna from the beginning of the season to now, and what types of improvements are they making?
Well, they've both made significant shifts in terms of their fundamental skills. I think they've bought into this idea of biomechanical efficiency. That's something that we're pretty big on here. So I think technically they're more sound than they were when they got here. Not that they were bad. I would just say they were a little inefficient. And both of them have great feel for the game. And maybe the margins here are a little thinner, so you can't get away with feel here. I mean, you can sometimes, but not all the time. So can we back that up with some technical mastery? And they both seem to be embracing that and making nice strides on that path.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thanks everybody.